Ms. D. Ray,
Present.
Mr. Frank Kinney,
Here.
Ms. Jennifer Ratcliffe, Dr. Audrey Martin McCoy,
Present.
Ms. Deborah Williams.
Present.
Okay, Madam Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have the approval of today's agenda. Does anybody have any modifications?
I do have one modification to add a note about the closed session.
Thank you.
1 second. Apologize for the wait. We will need
Everybody
to-
else knows Attorney Dover is here for Attorney Martin. She's not. That's who this person is talking. All right, go ahead.
We need to add and pursuant to GS 143-318.11A3 to have attorney-client privilege communication with the board's attorney.
Okay, noted. Thank you. Anybody else? All right, if I may have a motion to approve the amended agenda, please.
This is Frank. I motion it.
This is Audrey. I second.
Great. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you. Next, we have me, Academic Excellence Committee. So we had Dr. Bush present to us on the updated school mental health policy for this year. So I'll go ahead and turn that over to her.
Dr. Marks, Dr.
Yes.
Bush is not going to be here, so if I can handle that, if that's okay.
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
So every year we have to submit a school mental health plan as we share with the academics committee, and we have to update it each year. And the plan is a comprehensive school mental health plan to address improvements each year as far and then as well as previous practices, the interventions and things that we implemented the previous school year. We have to submit data as a part of our plan and how we addressed social, emotional, mental health issues of our students. And that's aligned with the requirements based on legislation. And then as a part of the plan, we the overriding theme of the plan is to promote again the mental health and social emotional health of our students, and also to educate our staff and make sure that our staff meets the minimum training requirements. The initial training, I think, was 6 hours for each staff member, and then every year after the initial plan was implemented and approved and implemented, our staff has to participate in additional professional development, and it will address issues such as youth mental health, suicide prevention, substance abuse, teenage dating violence, child sexual abuse prevention, and sex trafficking prevention. That's just some of the trainings. And again, as a part of the plan, if we have students that have issues or they feel as though they need supports, we have a protocol as a part of the plan in place for referrals and how we're going to use our student support staff to support students that have a wide range of whether it's minor or major issues, where we would use our guidance counselors, our social workers, our school psychologists, obviously teachers and administrators as well. And then by September the 15th of each year, we have to submit the updates to our mental health plan. So we're asking for approval of the plan. I think the plan is, the board members have a copy of it. It's works of 20+ pages that address the different content questions and the action items that we would take as a school to support our students, and then the actual staff members that are responsible for implementing the pieces of the plan in that 20-some pages, and a timeline in regards to how and when the various supports would be implemented. And also, as a part of the plan, our students also are required we provide those video lessons, 6th grade through 12th grade on inappropriate behaviors, adult sexual misconduct in school settings. And that's a requirement as part of the plan as well. So all of our 6th through 12th graders, they have additional pieces of the mental health plan that they're responsible for. And again, we have to ensure that we have all of our vacancies filled when it comes to guidance counselors, social workers, and school psychologists. Anybody that's responsible to carry out the plan, we have to report to DPI if we have any vacancies. So the goal is to make sure we have all aspects of the plan covered, that we're supporting our students. And obviously post-COVID, well, even prior to COVID, but particularly post-COVID, we've seen an uptick, a spike in the need, mental health and social emotional needs of students. So we have actually, as a part of our plan, increased student support services during COVID and post-COVID. So just if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. And I'm just asking that the school mental health plan be approved.
Any questions?
So Dr. Marks, I should have said this as well. So if a student comes to us and they have an issue, we have to document it. We have to fill out the paperwork showing how we address the issue. And then there is a template that's been created so that any student that we have supported with the mental health plan, we report that out. And that's actually, we have guidance counselors and social workers that'll be responsible monthly to keep that ongoing, the data put in that template. And so it's an ongoing template of supports. And then at the end of the year, that'll be a part of our evidences of support.
Excellent. Thank you. Dr. Martin McCoy, were you asking a question or somebody?
This is Dee. I was asking
Hi,
just, is this a document we had last year as well, or is this a new document? I don't recall.
This, I would think, is a new document. I think this is the new document. Well, I know it's a new document.
Well, we had the plan. Dr. Bush and our committee just said she updates it every year. So it's just an updated version.
But the new pieces of it is the reporting. There's a lot this year. There's a lot more reporting and a lot more that our social workers and guidance counselors are going to be responsible for.
Okay, thank you. That should have been my question. I was trying to understand what was different this year, but thank you. I see that now.
Any other questions or feedback? Okay, hearing none, I will ask for a motion to approve the new school mental health policy.
This is Dee. I move that we approve the mental health policy.
This is Deborah. I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Approved policy. Thank you so much. I'll go ahead and turn it over to Mr. Kenny now from the Finance Committee.
Okay, during our meeting, we talked about the budget that Mr. Mullins presented, and we shared any insights that we had or concerns. So that's what we talked about.
Okay. So handing it to the man behind the curtain, Mr. Mullins. Do you...
Okay.
Dr. Mullins, excuse me.
You're fine. Hey, you're fine. Hey, what I had give the finance committee is 3 pages, and I'm sure the board has the same 3 pages, but I just want to, from a historical standpoint, we began a year ago, just over a year ago, the last day of June of 2024 with about 6.3 million in our fund balance. The last school year, when the previous school year in 24-25 school year ended, we had on 6/30/2025 9.3 million in our fund balance. Now we had some outstanding bills, and so on the second page I had included a cash reconciliation report where we ended this past June 30th with 8.9 million in the bank in our fund balance. Keeping in mind of that 8.9 million, we have almost 6.6 million in our Ameriprise financial account with our CDs and our treasuries, which there's a projection that we would have a revenue stream from that of nearly $300,000 that Ms. Williams had mentioned that, hey, if we could take those revenues and use it for teacher and teacher recruitment and help, just doing something good for our teachers. So
Yeah.
we've got 2.5 months of operating capital in the bank, which is about 3.6 million. We have another 6.6 in those CDs and treasuries. And so that was kind of our starting point as we looked at the 25-26 budget and the projected budget, what we're asking for approval tonight is the initial projected budget for this year. We started out with 2,385 students as we shaped the budget. Last year, we ended the school year with just over 2,400 kids, but we're trying to be conservative based on the current enrollment numbers. We started developing this budget, keeping in mind of 2,385 students and knowing the students, what our local revenue would be, our state revenue, and then our federal revenues would be. It'd be just under $26 million, 25.9 million, right at 25.9 million. And then the expenses on the third page, the expense column, we derived those numbers from looking at the previous 3 years expenses to get an average and trying to do a best guess based on our previous years operations. And so we have set aside 14.5 million for salaries. And that 14.5 is 8% more than our current budget, but we put 8% additional in there so that if the state budget is approved, once that gets approved and the final teacher salaries and school personnel salaries get approved, I know they've already developed a salary schedule, but the budget hadn't been approved. We've got 8% of that set aside for the bump in steps and raises for our staff that I think this board has done. I think now this would be the 5th year. We have set aside $4 million for benefits. That's our medical, dental, vision, and the 403B, which the school does 6% and then matches up to an additional 4% in the 403B. There was a slight uptick in the cost of medical, dental, and vision this year, but the board had said that we would hold our staff harmless, so the medical costs would remain the same for our staff this year, even though there was, I think, a 12% increase in our United Healthcare. Our staff that participates in the medical, the United Healthcare insurance, they wouldn't see an increase. So we've held them harmless. So that's great that the board was able to do that. We've set aside $361,000 for books and supplies, $3.5 million for contracted student services, which is some of our EC services and various other operational services that we have throughout the year. We've set aside $290,000 for staff development, 1.3 for administrative services, insurances, 140,000. And that those insurances is general liability, workers' comp, crime and cyber, and our board liability as well as a part of that insurance. 264,000 for the rent and debt services to our 2800 Meridian Parkway office. And then we have 4,000 for facilities, 37,000 for utilities, at a little over 8,000 for transportation and travel. And then we set aside 371,000 for technology, which is hotspots and devices for students and staff. And then we have another line item of non-cap equipment leases of 527,000, which is laptops for our students as well, to make sure we continually upgrade our technology. And but in addition to that technology, we provide printers, writing tablets, document cameras, all that for teachers, and additional monitors. And then testing and benchmarks, we've set aside 402,000 for our testing program, which over the last 2, maybe 3 years, that's doubled, but we have doubled the number of sites we've had and really have increased the number of students that are taking the integrated end of course test. So when you put all that together, the expenses were at 25.8 that's what our projected revenue is. So we're pretty much at a net zero this year, but keeping in mind, we have right at $9 million in fund balance and CDs and treasuries. And if our enrollment goes up, our net revenue would go up, then our net surplus would obviously go up. So that's the third page of the projected budget is the one that we're seeking approval. And then if there's additional changes that need to be made throughout the year, we'll come back to the board, whether it's revenue changes or expense changes. And every month we'll keep you informed of where we're at fiscally.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So thorough as usual. Does anybody have any questions for Dr. Mullins? All right, hearing none, I will ask for a motion to approve. I'm gonna see what the year of this budget is. It's a 2025-26 budget.
This is Frank. I set a motion or I approve it or whatever. I do.
That's fine.
Or-
May I have a second?
This is Audrey, I second.
Excellent. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you. Thank you again, Dr. Mullins. That seems like a lot of work and you always do a great job. So good to have money. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to Dr. Martin McCoy.
Good evening, everyone. It is good to have money. I do want to start out with that, especially in these times. During our governance committee, we started what I thought was a very productive discussion on, in particular, on AI. And you'll notice that on our agenda items for this evening, we have two action items, one on the AI policy and the other deals with our 25-26 Board of Director meeting and committee schedules. So I'll turn it over to Dr. Thigpen to discuss the AI policy.
Good evening, board members, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you. We're presenting to you a policy regarding AI and its use with the North Carolina Cyber Academy. And we have an AI committee. There are two teams within that committee. One is a policy team that's worked through the summer to review AI tools with the teacher, but we also have a teaching and learning team that will reconvene after Labor Day to look at teaching and learning items as they arise. The policy that we're presenting to you will also impact our acceptable use policy and our technology responsible use policy, as well as our honor code. And the policy team has reviewed this AI policy that we're presenting to you to make sure that it integrates and with our technology responsible use policy, our honor code, and acceptable use policies. The policy itself comes from a document that was generated by DPI. They have generated a document that for the most part has guided most of the LEAs moving forward in developing their AI handbooks and their AI policies. And so our policy, if you were to look at other LEAs policy regarding AI, will be very similar to ones that other school districts have adopted. The guide that they published is the NCDPI Guide to Generative AI, and it has provided a wealth of information for us. I wanted to give you some insight about the work that the committee has done. We asked our teachers to submit to us tools that they expected to use, and the committee reviewed those tools and made recommendations on which ones we would approve, and we spent between 45 minutes to an hour looking at each tool that was submitted to us and evaluated it on 6 different aspects to make sure it fit with what we needed in our space with the North Carolina Cyber Academy. And so you have in the handout, the AI overview, a list of the tools that we've approved for use within the North Carolina Cyber Academy. You'll see that the focus for us is going to be on School AI and Gemini. We've also approved Notebook LM and ChatGPT, but the focus will be on the first two, and then you'll see three different programs that are basically for instructional development that teachers use that we've also approved. And so that was some of the major work of the committee. We've also realized that it's important that we have solid staff development as we move forward with AI and its use within the Cyber Academy. And so there is a foundational course that kind of gives you the basic fundamental safety measures to take when using AI. And Ms. Yurke has distributed that to all of our staff, and we expect them to complete that early in September to make sure that we've provided foundational training in AI for everyone as far as safety and being aware of the potential threats. We've also recommended that we use school AI after evaluating the programs that were there. And it seemed to offer the most bang for the buck for our teachers and the tools that we would use. But a key thing was it also provided staff development on how to use the program as well as outside of it and AI usage. And so that's why the recommendation was for that, for our use as the main AI program instructionally. We also understand that it's important that we communicate well internally and externally about AI and this policy as it unfolds. In the handout that you have, you'll see that our intent is to develop a web page that lists the tools that we will use, but it will also have a tab for parents to go click on and learn more about AI, as well as the programs that are in play. And so those are the things that we are working on. It's not it will continue to evolve as our usage and learning about AI and how to implement it as an instructional tool and to make us more efficient teaching and learning. But that's where we are at this point. And if you have any questions, I'll try to address those.
Thank you, Dr. Thigpen. I'd like to just kind of start off in asking a question about the materials. I think during our governance committee meeting, there was an example of an AI dashboard, and I think this is part of the materials that we have for this week from Davidson County Schools, Davidson County, North Carolina, I'm assuming. Was this one of the dashboards that you and the committee were able to research and found had a lot of the types of materials that you'd like to include for the Cyber Academy?
Yes, ma'am. We looked at 6 or 8 different LEAs, their webpage and what they had. And from that decided, talked about what would be best for us. And that's how the dashboard that you have presented to you, we want something similar to that. We found that to be the most, the best of all the ones we reviewed, I guess is the simplest way. We felt like that was the most informative and a place to coalesce all the information for AI. We wanted one web page that we could send everyone to, whether, regardless if they were a parent or whoever that housed at least the starting point into the AI programs that we were using.
Mm-hmm. There any other questions? Comments?
I'm excited that this is on the table and conversations are being started. We're talking about this a lot in our education policy research group. I have a lot of thoughts about it, but this is not the place. So I will focus on good and challenge, I guess, exciting and challenges. In the policy, it says the superintendent shall develop a comprehensive literacy training strategy for employees and students. I might have missed this. Like, what does the training of students look like? Is that just integrated within classrooms, or is that something that's happening like at a school or district, NCCA district level?
So what we're doing is this fall, we're focusing on training for the teachers and getting them going using AI. And in the spring, we will begin to focus on the students and their training. And so that's the kind of how we're phasing that in.
That makes sense. You want to be able to have the staff answer questions. Do you anticipate it being like classroom-based training, or will there be like whole school type, I don't know, AI field days, or have you not gotten that far?
I think there will be some of all of it. I am not Miss Yerke, and it is the most knowledgeable about what's available to us. And to be quite honest, we haven't had discussions yet about the student training. We know we will have to do it. We've just focused on the making sure our teachers we had it for them yet. And so we haven't had that discussion yet, but we will. And I will update you once that takes place.
Fantastic.
you.
And oh, sorry.
No, please go ahead, Dr. Marks. Please do.
Thank you. Okay. One thought could be, there's a lot of interest on the ways in which AI can help in terms of, having more equity in the types of curriculum available to different types of students. And so we're hoping that some schools and districts start to note when teachers start using AI more, and then can correlate that with how test scores are, or, the ways in which they see teaching and learning differentiate. So if it's not a huge lift, it could be cool to just have something intentional that does ask, like a short survey, how your instructors are using AI, when they started to use it, and then either qualitatively ask about the ways in which it's impacting student learning, and or quantitatively see if there is any type of impact. I personally think it's an amazingly powerful tool if used correctly and equitably. So I'd be really excited to see how it shapes or influences things. So not related to the policy, just an aside, is something I wanted to get on the table.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up, Dr. Marks. I think I just had a couple of comments that I wanted to add about this topic. I think that we, as we talked about in the governance committee, we have a pretty exciting opportunity as a virtual charter school to do some really neat things with AI.
Yeah.
But we all know that we have to move forward in, I think, pushing literacy and responsible use, and thinking about how we can use the technology moving forward, but also kind of have a critical eye, because as you may be aware, there are different cases that are being brought up with student use that have impacted families directly in some very negative ways. So we just have to be really thoughtful about how we proceed. And I think as we're thinking about those things, I hope that we will give a critical eye to the policy as well. Dr. Marks, I think you had said, you have a lot of just different ideas that come to mind. I think that we all do. And I think that this is going to be a process that we are going to, that we're probably going to have to, a policy that we'll probably have to revisit time and time again. But I hope that we will put some more thought and continue to have thought, I should say, and be willing to express ideas about how this policy will move forward. Any other questions or comments? Okay.
So
yes.
I just wanted to ask, so we're voting to approve this tonight? Is that the ask, Dr. Thigpen?
Yes.
Okay. One question that I had in terms of when we talk about the superintendent will develop a comprehensive, I'm assuming that doesn't have any kind of deliverable or timeline, because it's a living document and we're saying will develop and continuously improve. Is that kind of the implied thing there? And that's why it doesn't have a date on it?
The foundational training that we're providing, when we've got that in place, we feel like that meets the policy need as of right now, the training with school AI, and then this foundational safety training. And that may, we may decide as we move further that we need to include more, but that's where we are at this point.
Okay. I think that's fair for this point. I did kind of say this in the committee meeting, but I want to say it in this broader group meeting is it may be advantageous for, V2 to look at adding a little more around literacy for parents, learning coaches, and make sure we have a plan for, parents a lot of times may know a lot less than the teachers and the students once they have this literacy. And I think I should say learning coaches. I think it'll be really important for them to understand.
Ms. Ray, I had made note of that when you had made that comment and had it on the agenda for our next AI meeting where we could discuss to make sure we're doing a really good job informing parents and providing them what they need as well.
Excellent. Thank you for that.
Just as a supplemental question, do we as a board also need to have some sort of background training because of the nature of AI and its explosive growth? Is that something that we as a board would be interested in as well?
I was just gonna ask that. Can we
Actually,
join a training or can we have a separate
yeah.
one? Yeah.
I actually had that same sort of thought. I teach religion, and so trying to determine how teaching religion and AI goes together is still something that I'm trying to fumble with. And to be quite honest, learning AI is actually through my 16-year-old and myself. So yeah, I would benefit, I think, from that training as well.
Yes, I think that it would be very helpful. After our governance committee meeting, I was able to get on to some of the training modules through Know Before. That's sort of like one of the professional development links that the Cyber Academy is using. And we do have access to that, but I did wonder if there were any other resources that we could take advantage of as a board. As we are thinking through knowing about what many of these different platforms can and cannot do, and just helping to make us more knowledgeable. So do we want to move forward with this policy with action tonight, or do you feel as though we need to add the point about learning coaches? What are your thoughts?
I just one opinion, but I think I feel comfortable with the current version, knowing that we're accepting it as a living document that just by the nature of AI, we'll probably need to change perhaps more frequently than we're used to changing our policies. So that's kind of my take.
I feel comfortable with that as well.
Me too.
Sounds good. All right. Can I get a motion for us to move forward with the AI policy as it is currently outlined?
This is Dee. I move that we move forward with this the recommendation to the board for the sample AI policy.
This is Deborah, I second.
All in favor?
Oh, you do it. Sorry. Go right ahead.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries.
Excellent.
And board members, as we develop staff training and professional development, we will make sure we send that information to you. And each of our specific grade bands has a staff member or members whose primary responsibility is to engage learning coaches and parents. And we will add the request of ensuring that the learning coaches are trained and given information around AI and other educational technology tools as part of that responsibility. And one other thing that I want us to provide as a resource is a comprehensive professional development plan for different stakeholders within the North Carolina Cyber Academy. So Mr. Mullins mentioned during the budget that we have set aside funding for professional development and training. And one thing I want us to do this school year to be either more explicit about those skills and knowledge and the type of capacity that we want our staff and frankly our learning coaches and our board members to have as we move forward.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you very much, Mr. Hill. We really appreciate all of those considerations there.
Before we move on, one quick thing, the actual policy says sample AI board policy. I assume that's just because we use it as a template, but that is the actual board policy that we're going with, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, just a note to remove that. All right.
Our second action item tonight is a discussion of the 25-26 Board of Directors meeting and committee schedules. Mr. Hill?
Yes, ma'am. Board members, we are recommending the 25-26 board meeting and committee schedule mimic what you followed in 24-25. So for 25-26, the full board would meet from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. on the fourth Tuesday of the month. There would be no meeting in December, June, or July. In November and in May, the board would meet the third Tuesday rather than the fourth Tuesday. In November, we would push the date up because of the Thanksgiving break, and in May, because of the date that we've slated for graduation. And with regards to the committees, these would meet the week prior to the full board meeting. The time would be 5:30 to 6 p.m. The academic, finance, and governance committees would meet on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, respectively. No committee meeting in December, May, June, or July. And I put that to you as a recommended schedule for the full board, and the committees.
Are there any questions or comments for Mr. Hill? Okay, hearing none. I would like to make a motion that we move forward to approve the 25-26 Board of Directors meetings and committee schedule. May I get a second?
I'll second it.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. That concludes the Governance Committee update.
Thank you very much, Dr. Martin McCoy. We have a consent agenda next with approval of last month minutes, approval of the June, no, not last month, geez, May. And maybe, I guess that was last month we all met. The approval of the June 30 special called board meeting minutes, and then operations report. Any questions, or was someone going to say something? Yeah. Any questions or feedback on these documents before we make a motion to approve them? Okay. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
This is Dee. I move that we approve the consent agenda.
This is
Jennifer,
Audrey.
I'll
I second.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. Motion carries. All right. Now we have, I'm going to talk really slow because I have an email about what to say instead of what's on the thing that I'm looking for right now. All right. So I would like to make a motion to move into closed session pursuant to GS 143-318.11A1 to discuss information that's confidential pursuant to GS 115C-218.25 and GS 115C-319 and from our amended agenda pursuant to GS 143-318.11A3 to have attorney-client privileged communication with the board's attorney. Was that good, Attorney Dover? Did I get everything?
That was great.
Okay.
Do we need a second or do we need to make a motion, Dr.
Yeah,
Marks?
I was making a motion. I was asking if I was
This is
asking
D, I'll
somebody to make-
second.
Perfect.
I'll second.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, go ahead and move into closed session. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see here.
I'm on audio. I was muted. Okay, there we go. Is that everybody? No, we're still missing a couple of the parents. Button's tricky. The top button says leave meeting. The blue part says leave the room. So I'm always have to read it really closely. So maybe they left the meeting and they'll just be, oh, you guys are already back. I just need to expand my screen. All right. So welcome back. I think now I'd like to ask what we have. Yep. All right. Just asking for a motion to approve the new slate of hires of 18 new staff members. Do we need to say their names, Dr. Mullins?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'll run through it real
Okay.
quick.
Thank you.
Melissa Acevedo, middle school mathematics teacher. Kansas Aiken, middle school ELA teacher. Maceo Boston High School computer science CTE teacher. Melissa Cooper, middle school ELA teacher. Aaron Fry, high school mathematics teacher. Jill Griggs, middle school mathematics interventionist teacher. Jessica Hammond, middle school ELA interventionist teacher. Donna Jarrell, middle school exceptional children's teacher. Tracy Mabias, high school English teacher. George Moore, middle school exceptional children's teacher. Brooke Musgrave, middle school computer science CTE teacher. Molly Newberger, high school visual arts teacher. Anna Poole, elementary school teacher. Christy Robinson, elementary school teacher. Sherry Sanderson, elementary school teacher. Erica Schwartz, high school mathematics interventionist teacher. Melissa Sparks, high school health sciences CTE teacher, and Cedric Williams, high school computer science CTE teacher.
May I have a motion to approve this new, these new hires?
I make a motion to approve the new hires.
Second,
Jennifer, I'll second.
all in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you all really much. Thank you very much. It's been a long day. All right, that's all I have. Anybody else have anything they'd like to?
Yes, I would like to just add a point of personal privilege. Mr. Hill will be having a birthday this coming Saturday, so I just wanted to
I love
wish
it.
him a happy birthday.
Great. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Birthday.
Great.
Thank
Hope
you.
you're celebrated. That's wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Mark McCoy. All right, great note to end on. Ask for a motion to adjourn.
This is Deborah, so moved.
This is DI second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, see you guys soon. Have a great birthday.
Everybody.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.